What's a movie that you wish they would have done a tie-in figure for? And maybe they did. Like, try to choose a movie that you don't think would have had a tie-in, right? Like, because you have to go like obscure, and it has to be something that like nobody would want an action figure of, right? But that I would want an action figure of.
Yeah, Dodgeball.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, give me the frickin' the Vipers, whatever they are.
Oh yeah, there you go. You want the whole team, like you want Ben Stiller's squad from
Give me Ben Stiller's squad. Yes,
it should be like a 10-figure set where you get like the 5 average Joes and the 5 from what was Globo Gym? Sure.
Yes,
man, that'd be a good one.
That was like
you know what? One that I don't think they did, but I want Ready to Rumble.
Yeah,
I want an entire
world champion. Let's go.
Exactly. That is a Comic-Con. That should be a Comic-Con exclusive.
Yes.
I mean, why don't we have Ready to Rumble figures?
It's a good question.
The people want to know.
They want to know. Well, welcome to the Collectorists Podcast. Today we are looking at movies along with some news. Got some pickups. Let's take a look at some news. We'll get back to some movies though, we promise. So while we're waiting,
that's what they call in the business, a tease.
The tease. Go ahead and comment below. What movies did you like as a kid? What movies did you wish that they had done as when you were a kid, or even now? Like, do you wish they had done, like I said, Dodgeball? I don't know. Let us know in the comments. But we had some stuff going on. Kind of a quiet week, but a few things popped up recently for the news. But we had recently. This is from the Lightning Collection. This is the In Space Phantom Ranger Invisible, and it's a repaint. It's a repaint. It's not exciting. I have the Phantom Ranger. I like it. It's cool. It looks sleek. It's black and all over instead of this invisible thing. It's an interesting idea, but it reminds you of like the Star Wars they were doing, like the Ghost, the Force Ghost version.
Force Ghost.
Force Ghost, Space Ghost,
Coast to Coast.
But I don't know. I just feel like I'm okay with repaints, but this just seems cheesy. Why would you need this? How would you use this figure?
It's okay. It's fine. It's so good. It is what it is. Like, if I already had this like you and I just saw this repaint, I would be like, nah, I'm good. I don't really think it has anything to draw me in. And I still, for the love of God, I know they're getting rid of them, but God, do I hate those non-plastic displays, the cardboard fronts.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people I've heard are potentially not getting these figures that don't have the plastic because you can't display it. It doesn't display the same. It looks crappy next to the old ones that already had the plastic on it. So they're just skipping these. They're just omitting them, which is sad.
You're completely like pretty much exiling like an entire group of collectors mint on card because for all intents and purposes, that's just an empty box, right? Yeah. Like, unless you hold it in your hand, like I could just get a bunch of empty boxes and hang them on the wall and be like, look at all these figures I have.
Well, I'm spoiler alert. This is a pickup, and it doesn't have a box. This is something I got in the mail. This is my Doc Ock and Mary Jane VHS that I got. And in here could be anything. This could in fact be an invisible Phantom Ranger, and I wouldn't know because I'm doing them mint on card, mint in box. I don't know what you want to call it.
Those ones I think are more acceptable just because they're made to look like VHS boxes. But so that makes sense.
The same thing comes out. I thought earlier I said, how do I know that this deco is good? You don't.
Right. They should, you know what they should do? Remember those old Disney VHS tapes, like the ridiculously large ones? And it was like all kids' movies were like that. But they should do that for those VHS releases where you can open it and then it's just like a plastic window so you can see it. So you could do mint on card or you could pop it open. And even if you pop it open, you can still use the box for display.
So Core Memory just released there in my brain. Do you remember the McDonald's toys that had the VHS?
Do I remember those
the Disney ones? Toys? The ones, yeah.
As soon as you said Core Memory, I was like, he's going to talk about the McDonald's.
I don't know why. You could put them in. You put the figures back in the box. Yeah. And you can take them out and you put them back. Awesome.
I have looked at those on eBay. Do it. You can find like whole collections of those on eBay. Not too expensive either, like relatively cheap.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna have to. I mean, yeah, but so like we said, it is what it is. But luckily, the no plastic is gone. But Hasbro, listen to us about the clamshells, because that would be cool. Look into McDonald's and what they did. Just phone Ronnie.
They figured it out like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
phone
like,
the Burger King, Ronald McDonald, and he will tell you about how they did that. So,
correct.
Yeah. So also in the news here, and we've talked about a couple of these sets as they go along, but I am so itchy for these. This is nice. The Takara Tomy. This is the Japanese Beast Wars line that was made, and these are just kind of reprints of those. But this is we have Tigatron and Blackarachnia, and ever since the first set went out, the first one was Optimus and Megatron, and the scale is real nice and real big for some of them. And it was a little expensive at first, so I didn't get into it, but I wish I had. I'm kicking myself.
The FOMO is real. Those are like this like these right here are the closest I have ever been to buying a Transformers figure in like my adult collecting age, right? I am legitimately considering these. I'm going to be honest, hand up, didn't know these existed until you showed them to me. And I'm going to be doing a lot of research later today and figuring out how I can budget to get those into my possession, because that is dope.
Well, that's the thing, is I didn't do the research before, and I wish I had, because I saw this and I'm like, I don't know what it is, and I brushed it off. And there's your lesson for the day, kids. Make sure you eat your vitamins and say your prayers and do your research on your action figures, because they may end up being really cool.
Yeah. And ones like those where, like, listen, when you have a built-in fan base like Transformers does, and they're highly collector friendly in terms of like what they offer. If you are, this is not me trying to tell you to be irresponsible with your money, although you should never take financial advice from me, but those kinds of things, those are going to sell out quick. And then the resale value on them is going to be like, I mean, significantly more than what they were out the door originally. So that's an example of where, if you are, on the fence and it's a very popular toy line, you might just want to pull the trigger, because you could always sell it if you decide later that you need that money or you don't want them. But if you miss out on retail price for a lot of these things like this, you're going to end up paying resale for the most part. And I don't know how much the Optimus Prime and Megatron are that you were talking about, but I think you said they were originally 80.
Well, I just looked it up because we were talking about it. 105 for the Optimus Prime and Megatron, which is why if it was under 100, I would have considered it.
That's not. I mean, look, that's only a $20 markup. I mean, that's not the worst. That's a 25% markup. That's not the worst markup.
Well, there's that, and then the second set was Rhinox and Scorponok, and that was 70. And then we had a guy that Cheetor and Waspinator. I didn't recognize Cheetor at first. That was 55, and then now a little higher for 65. But I mean, if to catch up, it's going to be a little pricey. But I'm not in it right now. But
I'm not in it yet. But I might look at that. I mean, you said Cheetor was only 55. I mean, that's not bad.
I love Cheetor. It's a combo pack.
I know, that's not bad, man. Like, I'm gonna. All right. Well, I know what I'm looking up at the end of this show.
Well, don't pull a Chester Cheeto again and just get it.
Oh, I forgot that I ordered that. You reminded me. No, yeah, like that's still on pre-order. I haven't canceled it yet. I did something dangerous that I'm regretting already, is that I deleted the email confirmation of the order. I know, right? So I'm gonna forget. Like I already did, right? Like it's gonna happen again. And of one day I'm gonna look in my pile of loot and there's gonna be a
Chester Cheetah.
Yeah, there's going to be a Chester Cheetah waiting for me, but at least it wasn't that expensive. Like, it wasn't like it was like a $50 figure.
No.
Like 25 or something.
But these Beast Wars guys, they got me itchy. I mean, if I hadn't already dived in the retro set, I might. But at this point, I'm just going to keep it cheap and we'll see. But a cool set kind of, like I said, I'm itchy for it and we'll see how it goes. Yeah. So today we are talking about movie figures. We dove in already talking about some things we wish would have happened. But there are some new releases here from Marvel Legends. With the Marvels that was released, the trailer was released recently. We had a first look at some figures here. First one is Captain Marvel, very similar. And I feel like some of these they could just use some of the same sculpts and stuff, and maybe they do.
Probably do.
They look so similar. I mean, between the old Star-Lord ones, I look at them like, which one was this from? They're always the same. They aren't, but they look like it. This is Photon, who has made an appearance in a couple things so far. And then we also have here Ms. Marvel with the cat thing that has the stuff.
Which is another figure that I'm pretty sure they've already done a Ms. Marvel that looks pretty much the same as that. The only one that really looks that much different is the Photon one, because that's I forget her first name. Rambo is her last name. But
it's her suit though.
Yeah, because the suit is new, right? Like she actually was her character was like alternate universe Captain Marvel in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, fellow nerds.
Tell us in the comments, because I don't remember.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me if I'm wrong, because I do love Marvel movies. I've watched them all, but I also am horrible with names and faces. So, but I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, this person was in WandaVision and was also in, like I said, she's going to be in the Marvels and was also in Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, it's a cool figure. It reminds me a lot of the symbiote Spider-Man.
A little bit. I didn't think about that till you said it, but a little bit. And this wave is also kind of in. They also have, because it's a wave of 6, as they usually do with a Build-A-Figure. But they have these 3, and they also have some classic comic ones. They combined them because I guess maybe they didn't think they had Me and the Bones for the Marvels.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, at least they get them out. At least they got the figures out, and they're able to, along with other old stuff. So good for them.
The Captain Marvel set was a peg warmer set for a long time on the Marvel Legends series. Like, I remember seeing them. I mean, honestly, if I went to Walmart right now and went to the clearance aisle, there's probably still a few of them hanging around. So I'm guessing that probably plays a part into why they only did half the line as Captain Marvel, and it's just the main characters, right? So we'll see if they end up doing any more for it, because I know sometimes they'll kind of stagger the Marvel Legends releases because they don't want to spoil like characters that are going to appear. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to buy any of them, but big Brie Larson fan, so I'll definitely check out the Marvels. I liked Captain Marvel. That was a good movie. And Miss Marvel was a solid show. So I'll definitely check out the movie, but yeah, no interest in the figs. But if you do have interest, and if you think that these are worth picking up because of differences they've made from the first, Captain Marvel set to this one, especially when talking about Captain Marvel, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think.
Convince me, because I just don't need it, but I mean, maybe I do.
You're not going to convince me. But, unless you're like, if you buy it, there's a golden ticket for you to go have like a dinner date with Brie Larson. In which case I'd be all about it. And not even for like a creepy I'm in love with you way. It'd just be like dope to hang out with Brie Larson. Seems like a pretty chill person.
I just want to hear about being a superhero, and
I want to talk to her about her one episode appearance on Community. and Scott Pilgrim, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, and she's going to be in the anime that they're doing. So
Brie Larson, just slide into our.
I know you're watching. I know you're a subscriber.
And just like I asked Danhausen too last week, we just ask people. We request formally.
Still waiting on that message from Danhausen.
I haven't checked her email for a while, but so he might be in there. But Danhausen and Brie Larson, I would like to do a combo episode. So just slide in the DMs. We'll get you both on. It'd be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So along those same lines with Marvel, though, they released, this is the Multiverse 3-pack, and this has Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, along with our most recent Spider-Man. And so these 3 iterations of Spider-Man, if you will, this is a really cool figure and our set. And I think it's interesting how before they did like the 3 in a wave, and this is a 3 in like a 3-pack. So it's kind of another way they go about it.
I really want this set, man. I'm really mad at myself for how badly I want this set, because it's really cool. But here's what I'm gonna try to. This is me trying to talk myself out of it, okay? Because I don't collect Marvel Legends at the moment. I sold my Spider-Man collection. I sold my Spider-Man collection. I had a pretty large Spider-Man collection between like Funkos, retros, Marvel Legends, whatever. Sold those. I have regretted selling my Toy Biz Marvel Spider-Man the Animated Series figures, and I probably will eventually break down and buy a lot of those again. The original ones, the 90s ones, not the retros. Although the retros are cool, but no. but I think to talk myself out of it, I think I might just get myself the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, either loose on eBay or getting one of the OG Spider-Man movie figures, because I used to have a number of those as a kid. And so that would kind of be like a nostalgic thing for me, which is like, to me, that's like what's really cool about a lot of these movie tie-ins, right? And I don't know if we had another one to talk about. I can't remember, but what's really cool about the movie tie-ins, right, is that, like, especially when you're a kid, you can gain such a like strong nostalgic connection to these, whether it's the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movies figures, whether it's, Star Wars figures, or that was really the first set of like comic book, like cartoon figures that had like good like variety and stuff, when you had the Batman animated series and you had Spider-Man animated series and X-Men, a bunch of things that like I grew close to. And those Spider-Man movie figures were some of my favorite figures to play with. And I think Spider-Man at one point was a world champion in my my fig fed growing up.
Well, you got to think, because it's like, it's not just the TV show. You get that once a week, maybe, maybe once every day if it's Power Rangers with reruns. But like as a kid, that's a way to continue it. Like it's whether it is wrestling figures, whether it is Spider-Man, whatever it is, you can continue that story. And really, I feel like the figures of Star Wars are what helped. Yes, Star Wars was a monumental shifting movie, but those figures helped instill a lot of nostalgia in people, because it's not just the movies, it's not just the things that was created, it's the stuff they created themselves, whether they know it or not.
And Star Wars figures, in a lot of ways, because I know we're going to talk about them a little bit, Star Wars figures in a lot of ways kind of not just popularized the movie tie-in figures, but also kind of were a big push in terms of like modern adult collecting. Like a lot of people, they're one of the first like retro figures that really took off were those original like late 70s, early 80s Star Wars figures. And those are ones that are still some of the most coveted and like most sought after, especially mint in box figures that you can find of any movie for sure. But some of just the most expensive and most sought after retro figures in general.
Yeah, I would love that Return of the Jedi, Luke in the black robes, the green lightsaber. Like, no way am I buying that, because that's expensive, and I'm not going down the rabbit hole, because then you got to get the rest. But it's iconic, and all those figures are iconic, and like you said, it's a very big moment in collecting and movie history.
There's a lot of really cool, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, if you go on Netflix, there's the Toys That Made Us documentaries, docuseries. And they do a number of movie ones, like including what we just talked about, Star Wars. And there's a really cool way to kind of see the history of it and see the different variations and see just why they were so sought after and what kind of the background is of the toy manufacturer. Because really those figures made Kenner. Like those, like Kenner became one of the top figure companies in the world almost overnight because of those Star Wars figures. I mean, they were already notable, but like that really like exploded them. And then they parlayed that into a lot of different like licensing deals. Like Kenner did a ton of movie, TV show, cartoon tie-in figures. And they had a very specific style that you'll see still become popular, because I mean they're still doing like the retro re-releases where they're pretty much doing like the Kenner style figures, but for modern things.
And speaking of style, kind of leads into this next one. I feel like there's a modernized style for like, whether it be Marvel Legends, whether it be like wrestling elites. I feel like there's a very stylized, realistic style that is this modern figure, I feel like. And there is another movie that came out, Across the Spider-Verse, not Into, because that was the first one, right?
Yes, Into the Spider-Verse.
We're already in it. We're already in it. We're going across.
Now you're going across
the Spider-Verse. And so this line kind of, I feel like it changes that style that was already established, because they definitely leaned into the animated version of this, because you see some of these proportions, and this is kind of a shot of all of them. But if I get a little closer up, you can kind of see some of them are kind of smaller, some are kind of sleeker. Whereas you have that one, the chunky Spider-Man 2099. And he's more burly than this Spider-Man. It's not just like a general, everyone's the same kind of realistic size. You get the cartoon over exaggerated features and such. You get this figure here with the small legs and the big body, and the Spider-Man with the pants. It's just ridiculous.
It looks like the proportions of Gru, Despicable Me. Steve Carell's character Gru.
I think it's Groot.
No, not Gru. Like the body proportions of the character Gru from Despicable Me on that Spot figure.
It's just a reproduction of Gru.
It's a repaint.
Yes, it's the Gru tie-in. But I just, and there's a couple others here, and this big old
that thing is dope.
Yeah, Spider-Woman, Cyborg Spider-Woman is just. I want to get it. Like I wish this is one of the ones that have
punk rock Spider-Man.
Punk rock Spider-Man. This line has the no plastic, so I can't see it. But I'm tempted to get it because I want to see what it looks like. I want to feel it.
It's a hefty one, man. I saw it at Target the other day and picked it up, and it's got. I don't know why. There's something appealing about the hefty figures. I don't know if you feel this way, but like sometimes I see them. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That looks
cool.
I
remember back in the day, I used to have one of the Treebeard figures from Lord of the Rings, like the giant, like because it was to scale with the other Lord of the Rings figures. And I had a whole tote full of Lord of the Rings figures. I'm so mad at my parents for giving that away. But I had a whole giant tote of Lord of the Rings figures, and I had that. I don't think I had that gift pack, but I had all of those like characters. But I had the super tall, big Ent, and then I also had a cave troll. I had all that stuff, man. And I just think those giant figures, those hefty figures, they're just very I don't know. There's something appealing about them.
There is totally. I mean, you started talking about Lord of the Rings, so I felt like we may as well dive into it.
Yeah, why not?
And these are some of the past, some ones that were definitely important. This was kind of near the edge of my toy time.
This was the very end of mine. This was like the end. This and then like some like Ruthless Aggression WWE.
But so this is the Toy Biz line. I feel like these are iconic. I know these. I can see. I know this is not the green package, but you can probably see in your mind the green packaging right now. This is a gift set that kind of had
because it was green. There was the green, the blue, and the red was how they color coded them. For green was Fellowship, blue was Two Towers, red was Return of the King. Although this gift pack is for Fellowship, but most of them were red for Return. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But really cool figures. I've thought about getting them. Not too much, but
I've thought about them a lot. I've looked them up. Looked up the ones that I had because I've just been like so tempted.
Yeah, it's tempting, those old figures. Sometimes you gotta dive in. I actually, I'm not gonna show what it is yet, but teasers, stick with us because I got a figure that I had when I was 5. I got a reproduction of it.
Is it the Batman one you're about to show off here in a little bit?
Nope. This is something you don't. I got a few you don't know about here. We got some surprises.
Oh, I like it.
Playing it close to the chest here.
Okay.
So Lord of the Rings was one. I would include this because I mean everyone's heard about the reproduction of the Sherwood Forest that used to be the Ewok Village
from Kenner.
I mean good for them. But I mean, Robin Hood really. I feel like the movie, this playset has more of a place in pop culture than the actual movie, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah. Oh, for sure,
But it's cool when you get the playsets and you can kind of act out what's happening, and it works out when it's the same playset as it was in another iconic movie. So speaking of iconic movies, though, this is one. This is from Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. Which is just a repaint, but in silver.
They're shiny.
It's a shiny repaint.
I think I had that red one. I'm pretty sure. But what I remember about it is like after you played with it for so long, the shininess would like get all scuffed and worn off. So you would just end up with a super scuffed reflective Power Ranger at some point, which maybe says more about how hard I was on them. But then again, I was like probably 6 or 7 years old. So like I think I'm giving a little bit of a free pass there.
I didn't have any of these, but I think I knew someone who did, and they had a combination, and it bothered me. Like, whatever toys are good, but my brain, there was a problem. 5-year-old me, and even now 33-year-old me, the shiny and the not shiny. If it's all one set, it's probably be the same. Like you can play with them, but like, is it the same? Is it the same team because they aren't all shiny?
More acceptable from 33-year-old you than it is from 5-year-old you for different reasons.
The discrimination or the
like
the mixing of the
the
teams?
No. Like your take, being against it makes more sense at 33 than it does at 5.
Just bullying my friend at 5 years old. You have to have the right team.
And that friend was me. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It very well could have.
It was actually Colin.
Because
shout out to Colin, who's not watching this. But
shout out to Colin, who is not watching.
A friend of ours when we were younger. I don't know if he had a mix, but I know he had this one. And I thought to myself, at least, like, you can't have all those together. I can't play with mine and that one at the same time.
Right.
But he did have that one. I was jealous because it was cool and it was shiny. But good to know that it's scuffed, and I would have been sad if mine scuffed.
There you
go. So Power Rangers was a big one. We had Warriors of Virtue. So okay, we out of left field. These are like kung fu. Okay, no, not kung fu. I apologize. Martial arts. Kangaroos. I said kung fu kangaroos because that kind of like lines up.
The alliteration. I mean,
definitely martial arts. I don't know what kind of martial arts they had. I am unknowledgeable on that, but let me know in the comments if you know for sure.
If you had these figures,
but I saw them at a resale shop. I had the whole set, and I was kind of itchy. But what the heck am I going to do with this?
Like, yeah, they're cool, right? I do like vaguely remember that movie, mainly because I think that kind of stuff always, and it still does to a certain extent, but much more when I was a kid, kind of weirded me out, right?
Ooh,
like,
you don't like people or animals that are people?
That are too realistic.
How do you feel about Cats the musical?
Oh, you mean like the actual musical or the movie?
No, I'm talking about like the idea of these people that are cats.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. What I don't like is when it's like that uncanny valley thing, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think that those are real, but they look realistic enough where it's like I want them to be more cartoony. Like if those were more cartoony, wouldn't bother me, right? But the fact that they have like any kind of photorealism to them is just really, really off-putting to me.
Because it could happen. They could come and attack you.
I hate the movie. I hate those animated, I think it was our Robert Zemeckis movies, the guy that did the Polar Express.
Okay.
And
I don't like those CGI.
They're too, because here's the thing, they're not, I don't want to say they're realistic, right? Because they're not. Obviously they're animated.
But they're too realistic.
Like, exactly. They're too human-like. Like it just doesn't feel right. Like I can just tell something's off about this. And it's just like that. If there was like a Tom Hanks Polar Express figure, that would scare the bejesus out of me, man.
Yeah. Do you know what else is going to scare the bejesus out of you? So this is a nice little segue there. This is Bob the Goon. And this is probably my favorite find of figure that I have in this whole process. This is, if I got nothing else from doing this podcast, it is that I learned that this existed. This is Bob the Goon from Batman, the movie.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think here, switch to me real quick.
Okay, all right.
Here's the picture. This is what Bob looks like. Okay.
Okay, that's
really. You go back now. Go back to the figure.
All right, put it on the screen again. Put it on the screen again.
Okay.
Right, there's Bob.
Yep.
And then there's
the movie.
And then there's Bob. It's
they got the hair right.
He doesn't. I don't know. You can't see him there with hair, but he looks like a Hulk Hogan.
They gave him like a full beard, which he doesn't have. Like he has like 5 o'clock shadow. They gave him a full beard.
This is like an alternate universe Hulk Hogan who got into hard drugs, and like it's sad.
I love the 89 Batman movie so much. First of all, I mean, honestly, look at the Joker. That doesn't look like Jack Nicholson, like whatsoever. Like, I don't even think they were trying. Like, it looks more like the animated or cartoon or comic book Joker than it does look like Jack Nicholson's. Now, obviously, this was 1989, so like whatever. But no, man, like it is funny though that Bob is like the number 3 figure there. He is a very like when you watch the movie, he is a very present character. Like he's throughout the entire film. He's like Joker's right-hand man. So like I get why they made a figure of him, but dear God, honestly, so it is like so bad it's good territory where I am very tempted to buy that, and it can't be that expensive. Like it.
Okay,
like
so Bob the Goon, I just looked up before this because I was tempted. $10, free shipping on eBay. That's an offer. And please, if these start skyrocketing,
it's because of us.
know. It's because of us. I'll take that blame because this is a face only a mother can love. And
I love it. I can't get enough of that.
It's so
that
good.
Makes me so happy. I don't know why.
I don't know. But if you have a figure that makes you happy from movies,
it's the
as a kid, write it in the comments.
The wee beady eyes and the Eugene Levy eyebrows with the Hulk Hogan hair. Like, it's such a combination.
I love it. I might need to buy this now. You're convincing me. You sold me, I think, Matt. This is
not a lot of Skullet action figures out there. Probably some like Jesse the Body Ventura and Hulk Hogan.
We need more.
That's about it.
Hashtag bring the Skullet back. There's been more mullets these days.
We do need some, like, enough people have mullets that we should have a few more Skullets going around.
If they get old enough, they'll naturally evolve into
Skullets.
It'll be a
natural shave your head.
Yeah, just it's fine. Do it for the toy.
Exactly. Do it for Bob.
I did it for the toys. There's a Rikishi callback. So
I appreciate you.
Thank you. But yeah, let us know. All right? Are we being too hard on this, Bob? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let us know, because I love it so very much.
Or do you just hate it? Period. Like, not that you hate it so much that you love it, because that's where I am, and I think that's where Kevin is too.
Yeah.
Does it have
go away heat? Does it have X?
Yeah, exactly. Does it have X? Does it have go away heat, or does it have like MJF heat?
Yeah. Do I love it because I hate it? Or do I hate it because I hate it? Tell me
exactly.
Tell me how you feel.
Tell me.
Yeah. So enough on Bob. Bye, Bob. You're awesome.
Bye,
but we have. So this is if you had any other figures, any other movie lines we missed, let us know in the comments. Matt, do you have any other movie lines that you were fond of as a kid that we didn't talk about yet?
I mean, I mentioned them earlier. I had a lot of the Spider-Man, the first movie action figures. Like, I had a Green Goblin. I had a couple different Spider-Men. I had the one where he's like tore up, where it's like him at the end, the final battle with Green Goblin. And I remember playing with that one a ton because it showed a lot of his face. No, man, like, a lot of my tie-ins were more like TV show tie-ins, like animated show tie-ins. But like the two that I collected the most were like Lord of the Rings. I had a ton of Lord of the Rings toys, probably the ones I had the most of. I had a couple of those shiny Power Rangers and the Spider-Man. And I remember those the old original X-Men, the movie, the first X-Men movie
99
figure. Yeah, that one was pretty cool. I had the Wolverine from that, and I think I might have had Storm. I can't remember, but those are some pretty cool figures too.
So I might be looking up to that tonight, because those are interesting, and I'm itchy for that.
I do believe Landon. Well, I don't know if he still does. At one point in time, Landon had a number of those X-Men figures.
All right, might visit Landon this week. Been trying to slow down a little bit, because peek under the hood, I am working on getting a house, so I need to not get as many figures and save my money or something. Be an adult. Right. I don't know. But speaking of getting too many figures, let's talk about our weekly pickups. And that was a good sound effect.
Somebody stabbed me in the kidney. Like, what is with that? I just got shivved right in the kidney, and that was my guttural reaction as I pass away.
I like that. That's good. So I already showed off my Doc Ock.
That's so dope.
Yeah. And one thing that I wish that this was not have. You can see this is 1-2. The other ones had 1-2 as well, so they need to make it 3 and 4. So Hasbro, if you're listening, just mid-run change. Not a big deal. You got this.
Right.
I'd like to open this up eventually. Maybe I'll make a video. I don't know. So I've got that.
And the cool thing with those is that you can still display the boxes. Like, the boxes are cool on their own. Like, you could easily display the boxes and then have the cards loose, or have the figures loose, you know?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I just got to do it. I got to figure out a time when I can open them, because I have a few to open. But once I get that new house, I'll display it.
Exactly. You're gonna have a whole display you can do.
Exactly. So I've got that. I also have. So you last few weeks, you've inspired me with your Funkos. I got myself a Funko.
Okay, nice.
I have a few. I don't have many. But also because he was not super expensive, and I had saved them for a while, and it was like $5. So I have the Finn Balor.
I knew that was. I almost bought that because it's a really good deal. It's like $4 or $5.
It was like $5, and I said I could not get that, but it'd be stupid if I didn't.
Yeah,
so
it's a nice one. It was in my cart a few times. It might still be in my save for later. Yeah, I definitely have batted around the idea of getting that one a few times.
Well, he's
one. I want like Judgment Day Balor.
Like no, I want that too. This is Balor Club Balor, which I really appreciated, nice. And I'm gonna say I like Balor Club Balor more than I like Judgment Day Balor.
Right.
I said it. At
Hot
me.
Takes.
But along the wrestling line, I also got here. This is okay. So this is a line that I thought was dying. It might still be dying, but they're trying to resurrect it, I think. And this may have gotten me back in the line.
You brought them back. Ooh,
the
nice.
LJN Darby Allin. And he looks so good, and like it's the LJN type, but also you can swim, and it may have changed things. So I thought I got it for a good price, and I thought maybe I'll see what happens now because I already have the two Codys, the Walmart exclusive and the original one, and I don't know.
Those are perfect for displaying mint on card or loose. Mm-hmm. Like those are like the perfect figures for that because the box design is cool and unique.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the original LJNs. It's colorful. It's toyetic.
Mm-hmm.
And Darby is a super toyetic, wrestler to begin with. So having that with the LJN style, the more like kind of cartoony style. Yeah, I'm a fan. That's a cool figure, man.
But with I don't know, next one's the CM Punk doesn't look great, but Britt Baker does, so we'll see what happens. I might just pick and choose. I don't know if I can be a completist. There's only a few, but who knows?
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be 4. There's only 2 so far. 3 if you include the alternate Cody, the Walmart exclusive.
Well, and now finally, sorry.
Finally,
a blast from 1995. This is the Billy Blue Ranger.
Is that the original 95 too?
It's not. This is the reproduction. So I've been down the rabbit hole because I got the Black Ranger about like a year ago, and I thought, we'll see. I almost got rid of it, but I'm super itchy for these because they're really cool. It's essentially the same thing. Same box art. It just has 2018 instead of the 93 or whatever.
That's why I'm sure if I had it up close I could see more, but like from afar it fools me because a lot of those like the reprints you can tell if you can tell relatively easily, but that one is actually kind of a more truer to the original packaging, which is nice.
Yeah, I like it.
The dog agrees.
The dog agrees. Bo agrees. That's who's.
Thanks, Bo.
Thank you, Bo. He's a Billy Mark himself. So those are my pickups. Oh, okay. I got one more pickup. I forgot about. This is a big one. So I ordered this. This is the thing that started my Kenner Batman journey. So I got this, and then I was like, I gotta get the rest. This is kind of on a whim because it was a good price. I ordered it a while ago, but just never came in. But see if I can.
It's Bob.
It's Bob. Ooh. Okay, I have not opened this yet. So this is the first time I'm opening this. So this is something I never had, but I had a friend who did, and I thought it was the coolest thing. But I really liked the way it looked, and it had a cool feature and everything. And I should have opened this at a time, but here we are. They really well wrapped it. So whoever did this, good job. Came from Mississippi, so all the way to Michigan.
Shout out Mississippi. Oh, baby.
This is okay. This is really cool. I don't think it comes to the top. Ooh, the little things come out though. Those attack the side.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nifty. I need to explore this a little more.
I had the animated series Batmobile.
That's what this is. That's it.
Oh wait, no, then I must have had. I don't. Oh yeah. I had. Yep, I had that. Yep.
I remember this vividly because this is, and it doesn't. I guess it doesn't have a top, and I didn't. When I saw it, I forgot it had a top even at all. May not.
Yeah. But I had that.
It goes
That's
back
such
in.
a dope figure.
So this is really cool.
That's cool. That's cool. Kevin's gonna be playing with the Batwing tonight. He's just gonna be like,
I might.
This Batman figure, just flying him all over the place.
This is going to be a display for sure in my new house. Whenever that happens.
Heck yeah.
So I'm excited.
That's an awesome pickup.
Yeah, I was kind of nervous to open it. I've kept it and haven't opened it. I was like, I'll open it later because I was worried like it broke or didn't come with something or
right.
This is exactly. Oh, it is missing a piece, but it probably showed it was, but it's missing a whole piece here.
Womp womp.
That's whatever.
That's all right.
It's still really cool.
Still dope.
Let me wash it up a little bit, but it'll be fine.
Right, give it a little fake bath.
So that was that's my pickups. That was way too many.
Nice.
Definitely far less going forward because I'm spending less money.
I have some pickups as well. Only one of them is a fig. I'll show the other two just because I'm a wrestling collector and I collect a few other non-fig related things for wrestling. So I'll start with those since they don't technically work. So here where we live, there was an antique festival over the weekend. I love going to the antique festivals. I'm mainly looking for toy figures, but I look at like old wrestling stuff. I'm just a sucker for looking at like old. I was a history major in college, so I love old historical stuff. So I've just always been drawn to that stuff. I just like seeing everything. And anyways, all that is to say, had some really good pickups. Found a couple of sealed VHS tapes that I thought were really cool. Not just because they're sealed, which is cool, but also they're from the early 90s. And they're Coliseum video, the old WWF. The first one I have since learned because I did some research. Shout out to the Major Wrestling Figure Pod Facebook page because they helped me out. But this first one here is a Best of Bret the Hitman Hart Coliseum video collector's edition. Apparently, this was a series of VHS tapes that they used to do like a Columbia like tape of the month kind of club. And every month they would have a different WWF and they all came in like this was the box, like this was the style for all of them. So this was a really cool one. I'm not the biggest Hitman mark, but I mean he's one of the goats, right? Like I can't not get it. All right, the other one I got, which I think is a little cooler, mainly just because this one was originally supposed to be a rental. And this one is a VHS Invasion 92. It has manager cam with Sensational Sherry, like a special feature. It also includes on the back here, which you can't see, but it's extra exclusive. The Nasty Boys visit a video store. You won't believe what happens when quote unquote tough customers, the Nasty Boys, try to rent a Coliseum video. And there's them berating a poor video store clerk at the bottom. It's super 90s. It's super like it's the big box, right? Like the old VHS. Yeah, man, it's really cool. It's got some good matches, man. Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Macho Man team up against Jake the Snake and The Undertaker. I mean, listen, Hulk Hogan versus Typhoon, Legion of Doom versus the Beverly Brothers. Yeah, man, like this is just a really cool old school video. And like I said, finding them sealed and for a really good price, you don't see that too often. Last thing I got also at the antique fair, another thing, I did not know this ever existed, but it's one of the most late 90s things I've ever seen in my life. And it is this Stone Cold wired thing. So essentially, this was a figure that came with a microphone. It looks like Stone Cold's doing stand-up on the back. But this was a figure that you would plug into your computer. You would have a CD-ROM that you would put into your computer. You would hook it in, and then you would log on to this website. Let me see if it tells me what the website is. I don't know if it's just wired.com. Yeah, wwf.wired.com. And then you would be able to download catchphrases and rants, is what they say, from Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then you would be able to play those on your Stone Cold figure. And it comes with a little stand and like a microphone, and then like you plug the microphone into your computer. Like that's the cord you use. It's really stupid. It's really late 90s, like when nobody really knew how the internet worked. And so they were all just kind of trying to figure it out. Like I have to imagine this was like the only one of these they did. Maybe they made like a rock one or something, maybe a Mick Foley, but like there couldn't have been that many of these.
I've got questions. So, like,
Yes.
do we think that they were planning to update these, or was it like, here's a massive drop, you can get all these things, or was it like every month they're like, Stone Cold, say something new?
I mean, my guess is they were probably gonna like do it as like here's your answer. I'm looking at the inside of the box. So first of all, by buying the figure, you get exclusive 12-month access to WWFwired.com. And then the website is updated frequently to download rant packs. And packs is spelled because it's Jax. Packs is spelled Pakks.
Yes.
And then the bottom there's something called Rant Manager. Combine various names and phrases to create your own storylines and rants for your figure.
I'm coming for you, Rock.
Exactly, dude. First of all, I'm sure this website doesn't exist anymore. I'm going to be really bummed to discover that it doesn't. Or alternatively, is it possible to download like the Austin 316 rant on this? Like with modern technology.
So you gotta think that it takes a certain kind of file. So it might just take an MP3 file or something. You might be able to just like
right. That's what I'm saying. Like if I plug this in, is it going to be like a USB port? It's going to be like a
disk drive.
Would you like to register? Would you like to register your Stone Cold USB drive? Yeah, so I'm probably going to open it because the box isn't in the best condition. It's already kind of opening, and I didn't spend that much money for it. So I'm probably going to open it and display it. You know.
Okay.
Why not? And maybe I'll see if I can. Maybe I'll see if I can download some stuff on them. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, that was it for pickups for me this week. Relatively light week for me after some heavier ones.
Yeah. I hope that will be what I say next week. But you never know.
I have a figure waiting for you at my sitting in my car. Actually,
I actually have
for a couple weeks now.
You don't know this, but I have something waiting for you in my car. Yeah, but we'll get to that.
Hot diggity dog. That seems like a tease for next week, folks.
Tune in next week, and you can see what's in Matt's car, what's in Kevin's car.
What's in the car?
And will we each have it in our own possession? Who knows how busy this week will be.
Same bat time, same bat channel. What's in the car?